this is Victoria with BC Acres, and today we're making a video about how Christopher and I freeze dry our farm fresh eggs. We sell these at the local farmers market, and quite often we get questions on how we do it and why we would do it. So through this video, I'm going to walk you through the steps of the whole process, from how we collect the eggs and watching the hens follow me around, the washing and how we crack it, freeze it, and put it in the freeze dryer, and the process afterwards of packaging. So these are eggs from our free-range chickens. We do have a variety of different chickens here at BC Acres. I collect daily, and because we do have a rooster, I put them in the refrigerator as soon as I collect them, and I usually collect 3 or 4 times a day just to make sure we can get them fresh. So the first process after we collect the eggs is we're going to go over to the sink and wash. And usually what I do is cold water, a little bit of soap, and then just wash the eggs. I usually do 2 dozen at a time without breaking them. Simply just wash off the eggs, make sure all the stuff is off, and again, cold water, rinse. And then I just set them on a towel to air dry. So as I'm washing through these, we get questioned quite often of why we would freeze dry eggs. What's the purpose? So for Christopher and I, the reason we started this journey of freeze drying is we wanted to help with retirement. So for us, it's a retirement savings. We decided to do this about 2 years ago. Because we figured at retirement, if we were to freeze dry not only eggs, but we do gardening, so we do freeze dry a lot of our garden vegetables, and it's going to be here the way we package and preserve it for 20 years, hence cutting down the money we need to spend on retirement. That's why we started to do it. Why did we start to sell it? Because there became a question about it. We would talk about it at the local farmers market, and people caught interest and thought, well, that's kind of cool, we'd like to buy that. So we started to package them for sale. And the other question we got several times was, are the shells in the package? How do you cook them? So no, the shells aren't packaged. I take them out of the shells. They're frozen without the shells. It is a raw egg that does get freeze dried, so it does need to be cooked. All that we're doing is taking out all of the moisture in the egg and preserving it with an oxygen absorber in Mylar bags and keeping it out of the elements that cause foods to go bad. That's why it stays for 20 years. All washed up. Pretty variety of colors. I love our Easter eggers and their pretty greens and blues. We are now incubating babies, so it'll be really fun to see what more colors we get for chickens' eggs. Okay, so from here, after we have them all washed up, generally I let them dry a little bit, and we come back in just a moment. Alright, so our eggs have air dried, and now it's time to get into the cracking. I always crack in a different bowl. Then what I'm going to put in this, and the reason being is I have tried to crack these and put them directly into our containers to freeze, but the yolks are so thick that they do not freeze dry very well. So we've learned that by cracking them, putting them all in one bowl, and then we blend them all up, the freeze drying process goes a lot nicer. And if you'll span in on the bowl here, Christopher, you'll see how nice and beautiful orange these yolks are. Some are a little bit darker. Eggs. The flavor is so much better though if you've never had a fresh egg. When we first started getting chickens, I grew up on a farm, and so I knew what fresh eggs tasted like, but Christopher had never had an egg from a fresh free-range egg. He'd always had store-bought eggs. So he was a little bit apprehensive about trying eggs. At first he thought it would taste gamey or odd. The first time we made something with the eggs, he was like, wow, I can't believe this tastes so good. And now when we go out to eat breakfast, it's, I don't like the taste of these, there's something wrong. So it is definitely something that it's a nice experience, especially when we put all of our hard work and we get to reap the benefits here at home. The other thing while I'm cracking these eggs, we get questioned quite often as well, why would you do this and how do you use them? So when you buy at the store a boxed cake or cookies, and all you need to do is add liquid, it has a freeze-dried egg in it. So you can make your own homemade cake mixes with the freeze-dried egg in it, and you can rehydrate them. We rehydrate them. Christopher's job every Sunday is to make a casserole for our whole week of eating breakfast out of freeze-dried eggs. So in another video, we will show you some recipes and ways that we rehydrate and use, but let's get into this. So for now, that's what our 2 dozen eggs look like in the bowl. And usually I just watch and make sure. Sometimes there's a little bit of things that you don't like in there from fresh eggs. This batch looked really good. Generally our chickens don't have a lot of the little blood specks and stuff, so if it does show up, it's your choice to take them out. Sometimes I usually do take it out. Sometimes, you know, if it cracks and it's in the pan, it doesn't hurt you. So next we just whip it up. And again, the reason we whip it is our puppy wants out. That's her doorbell to go outside. Again, the reason that we blend it together is the yolks are thicker than the whites, so when we freeze dry it, the yolks don't always get completely freeze dried, and you need everything 100% dry, absolutely no moisture or liquid left in it. So we're going to go ahead and blend this up. Just like you're scrambling eggs. And so that's what it looks like, just like scrambled eggs. We found these nice little molds that work perfectly for our eggs. Each one holds about 2 medium-sized eggs. So when we go to package, I also know approximately how many, and then we also weigh the packaging too. So I just pour into each mold. Get it all filled up so they're all about equal. Okay. And then from here, we put this in the freezer and let these harden up, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so here are our eggs out of the mold. frozen. And then I show you now what I do is I just pop them out of the molds and I put it right on our Harvest Right freeze dryer pan. And each pan holds 24 eggs. Now in this one I had one extra egg the other day, so it does have an extra egg in it that I'll just use for something else. But that's okay. So I just take them out. That's what they look like though coming out, a frozen egg. This one I'm just going to put in the refrigerator and we'll save this one to eat for breakfast. And then the next step I'll show you us putting it in the Harvest Right freeze dryer. Alright, so our freeze dryer is ready to be loaded. We have 4 trays. Ours is a 4 tray, which is a medium one. We're going to go ahead and put the 4 trays in. We try to keep it pretty much all the same product, although that's not 100% all the time. One more to go. And then we put in this nice little Harvest Right, whatever this thing is called, I do not know. But it came with it, so I use it. Okay. Already closed the drain. We're going to press continue. And freezing in 2 days. We will come back. Generally, the freeze dryer shuts off in about 24 hours or so, but we always extend it to about another 16 to 24 hours afterwards. We've learned that that's the kind of sweet spot for eggs. I will show you how we blend it in the food processor and package. Alright, so out of the freeze dryer, they come in just, looks like that, like a freeze dried. It looks like it did when it went into the freezer. From here, what we do is I put 16 eggs in here. 8 of these because each of these has 2 eggs in it. So I put 8 in here. And this powders up the egg. We've found that if we leave it in this block form, it does not rehydrate as nicely as it does if we blend it and break up apart. And so that's what the eggs look like. That's a freeze-dried egg right there. And so from here, we add them to quart Mylar bags. Each bag I weigh out to about 6 ounces each. So I put my bag on the scale, I zero it out, so it's zeroed. And then I add 6 ounces of our freeze-dried egg. So that's at about 6.1 ounces on the scale. And from here, that's what it looks like inside our Mylar bag. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and fill up all the Mylar bags, and then we'll go on to the next step.
Okay, so we've gone through pretty much end to end the process. Victoria walked you through, collecting the eggs, cracking the eggs, freezing the eggs. I mean, the whole preparation aspect of it. We actually put them in the freeze dryer. Now we've taken everything out of the freeze dryer. We've put the freeze dried items in the bags, the Mylar bags. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the oxygen absorbers that we saw, and we're going to put one in each bag. And look at that, I have the exact amount. Isn't that crazy? Then what we're going to do is, this is the last step to our process, or second to the last step. We're going to take it over to our chamber vacuum sealer. So we put the item in here. As you can see, flip this bar up, keep it snug, and what we're going to do is we're going to press this down, and it's going to begin the process. This is a pretty nifty little machine. We were only just doing just a regular sealing aspect of it. It wasn't until last year before we sort of upgraded our, what I'd say is our final packaging kind of processes. This thing has been an absolute game changer. And then so when it's done, it basically pops up. What you end up with is this. All the oxygen sucked out of that, and that is in a very tight seal. And it actually, through the process, it actually seals the Ziploc portion of this. And this actually has a seal across the top, but we take one additional measure. We actually use this impulse sealer, and we go one more time just to give it an extra seal. And now that's ready to be stored for 15, 20 years. Let's go on to the next one. Again, oxygen absorber inside. Kind of straighten it all out. Put it on the bed there. Flip this bar over to hold it in place. Push down to start the process. All pretty automatic. Takes a few seconds. And as it's working and it's doing, it's creating a vacuum in there. It's pumping a whole bunch of air, and then it immediately sucks it all out. And then what that does is it actually will take all the oxygen out of the chamber and then basically seal that bag. And here it is. Now it just sucks all that oxygen out, and this thing pops up. Done. You can hear it crinkling and crackling because of how sealed it is. Then we're going to take it over here to the impulse sealer again. Give it one last good seal. There we go. 15, 20 years.
Run in. Don't run in. That's not a real egg. No, you'll have to reach under B. You're gonna get under B and get her egg. Oh.
You please let me get your egg?
She will. Lift up. Just reach under there. She'll let you. See, she's letting you.
I feel something.
Let me see, is that the real one? Yep, that's a real one. That's a fake one.
This one?
Uh-huh, and that's not B's egg either. That's the Easter egg, or B hasn't laid her egg yet. Is there another one under there?
Just the one.
Just that
real.
one?
Or one?
No, those are fake.
And why are the fake ones?
Because the fake ones help them know where to lay. Tell B thank you.
Thank you.
Can you pet her head?
Can you with me?
She'll let you. B is a good chicken.
Here comes.
Okay. Good job. Thank you, B. Did you get the chicks?
I was trying to get the rooster, but he took off.
Aww.
There he is.
You see that's Dr. Love going on right there. Dr. Love was our first rooster. We did not plan on keeping a rooster in the beginning at BC Acres. We had ordered some chickens, and one of them came in a rooster, a boy. And by the time we figured it out, my grandson had already named him Love, and we were pretty much stuck with him. So now we've decided that we will go ahead and incubate and keep chicks, and we're gonna learn how to cull and harvest our own meat so we can enjoy fresh chicken. And my helper here is not supposed to be up on the counters. Get down, get down. She thinks there's a treat. There's no treats here for you, Sky. Go. Are you ready? Are you recording, Christopher? You're supposed to say cut. So, okay.
Okay, 5, 4, 3.
Action! So without the dog bothering me, hold on.
Come.
Go. Go. Okay. Watch out for Love. Keep an eye on him. Good job, Frederick.
This is not scary. Wait, why did you put some things on top of us?
Because Love is hurting their backs.
I'm not a video guy, so